Hello again, friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to your ITFC match reaction show. I'm your host, the Gov. Thank you for joining me, whether you're watching live or on catch up. If it's catch up, FTA, comment for that algorithm. But sadly, it has finished. Ipswich Town 0, Nottingham Forest 1, or to its correct term, Nottingham Forest 1, Ipswich Town 0, defeat away at the City Ground. What are your thoughts and feelings? Get active in our live chat. We really want to hear from you this afternoon. What do you think of the game? Joe says ref was awful. I know the commentary team was praising the ref throughout the course of the game. They felt he refereed the game well. How did you see it at home? Sam Howard thinks Town thought they were getting greenish, but the picture was taken on an old 3.2 megapixel camera and turned out to be Jack Clark. Joe Pearson, Forest players and fans quiet, mediocre at best. They go on my list of teams. I hope we beat when they come to Portman Road. Lots of comments flying in. I'll try and come through as many as I possibly can. Alex, a bit toothless today. Gifted goal to Forest, Taylor and Brody. Only subs to add anything to the game. Roll on Tuesday. So whatever you're feeling, get active. And there is a link as well, which I'll drop right now. So should you decide, you know what? I don't want to just write what I think. I want to say what I think. You can come on the show and have your say. Don't need a webcam, just a microphone, although both is preferred. Right, joining me first and foremost is Mr. Lee Anderson. Lee, disappointing afternoon. It's a defeat. It's not a place we normally go to and win. You know, we've not won there since 1999, I believe. Not a win today. Not even a point. How did you see the last 97 minutes?
Well, I think this is probably one of the most disappointed I've been after a game, if I'm being honest. And not because of Ipswich as such, but they're not that good, are they? I didn't want to. They're not that good, and that's the disappointing bit. I mean, they've got all these points and they've beat some big teams. But you wouldn't have thought we were second bottom and they were however many points they've now got. We're not going to be... I wouldn't be surprised if we're only a few points behind them by the end of the season. So that. But our performance, first half, I thought we were really good. Shaded the first half. I mean, we weathered the storm, but then we grew into the game. Had a couple of chances, didn't we? You know, one cleared off the line. And it was a pretty even game. Particularly because we were playing away from home, and then we didn't start the second half particularly well, and then they get their penalty, and that's really the game. And it's interesting that they bring on all those defensive players right at the very end. I've not seen that since League One. I didn't see that. I've not seen a team do that. But they got the win. Fair play to them, but we just looked at. We're looking a better team each week. I think we're definitely improving, and we're seeing the games out better in terms of, not getting blown away, because there were times today where, especially after they scored after they scored their goal, that we could have, in times gone by, we'd have conceded a second, but we didn't. We hung in there and hung in, and got back into the game and had a couple of chances we should have probably done better with. Clark in particular, done better with his, I think.
I disagree a little bit in terms of your comments on Nottingham Forest. So they're sixth for a reason. They've had a great start to the campaign, and I actually felt second half they were by far the better side. I can't remember too many chances for us in the second. I can't remember their goalkeeper getting his shorts dirty, for example. We were very passive for me today, Lee. I felt we were very, Delap was well marshalled. We were quiet on our flanks. We had some moments, and I agree with you there, in terms of that off-the-line clearance, for example. Different day, that could obviously nestle in the back of the net. But I just felt we were very passive today for us. And that's a huge credit to them. I thought second half particularly, whatever they tweaked, whatever they changed, worked a treat. And they are a decent side.
I think in the Premier League, I mean, you're not always like any game of football. Really, you're not going to dominate for the 90 minutes. Is what I would say on that. They got that goal, but what after that spell, what did they offer at the other end? I'm not sure they really offered anything. To be fair, and the game was maybe a little bit a bit more stagnant. But we're really short for somebody now, a striker to come on I think if Hurst would have been fit, he would have come on for Delap after about 70 minutes, I think, because Delap looked a little bit tired. He started to run the ball and tried to do too much with it, I think, towards the end. He had some great runs and he was running into cul-de-sacs. So I think that's he obviously felt that because we were 1-0 down, swapping him with Al Hamadi wasn't going to be the goal threat that we want, and so that was quite telling for me. At that point, but yeah,
sort of 5-10 minutes, didn't he, Lee? Burgess was that second striker up there. We pushed Burgess up as we have done in the past, and kept him there. It tells its own story in where McKenna's thinking was in terms of the game plan and what could and couldn't work, and it nearly paid off. I just felt we had a lot of the ball, particularly the dying embers of the game. But do you ever really feel like we were creating, like against Brentford, for example? I messaged Matt on the WhatsApp group and I said that there's a big chance in this game still to come. I didn't feel that today from us. I didn't feel like we were really knocking on the door. We had the ball, but I never really felt like we were overly aggressive in terms of our chance creation. Maybe I saw it differently to you.
The second half, we didn't create too much, and again, nor did they. But they had a goal to protect, and it's very hard in the Premier League, given the size of their defenders and such like, and where we are. We've only got one batter and ram up front. So yeah, we needed to get behind them a little bit more and such like. And I think when Smodics went off, that didn't help. I mean, Jack Clark's not hit the ground running at all, really, has he?
What were your thoughts on him today? What were your thoughts on him today?
He's not adapted the same as the other young players, has he? I think it might be because he's not getting much of a start in the game, but he's had probably 3 or 4 opportunities now over the times that he's played, and he's not taken any of them. Probably needs some more, perhaps. But his chance today, he could have done better with that, I think. He was just making sure he got it on target probably after the ones he's hit before. But yeah, I'm not so sure about him at the moment. But he does when he gets a chance to run, he's linking up with Davis, so there is that counter attack. But you have to bear in mind, especially when the other team's defending a 1-goal lead, you're not going to quite get the same space perhaps as you would normally. But yeah, there's more to come from him.
Okay. Hamish, Broadhead looks sharper than Clark today. Ted, if the midfield plays slow and do not create the chances, the front three are wide in that position. There was no quick ball, and KM did not adjust. The subs were terrible and did not threaten. Mike D, start the second half was the issue. We looked awful. Yeah, we are starting games, or let's rephrase that. We are starting half slowly, aren't we? We're starting the first half slowly. We start the second half slowly. That's got to change a little bit, hasn't it, moving forward? Because you can't allow that too many times. Do you feel?
No, we've been here before. I think in the Championship and League One, have we sort of said that before? It seems to go cycles. Yeah, I mean, particularly.
So in the first half, Lee, just to jump across you, in the first half we didn't start well either, did we? In the first 5-minute period, we were defending. They had that header from the corner that obviously hit the side netting. Half the ground thought was in. Man United, we conceded in the first 45 seconds. And you're right, we did have some of those issues in the Championship, but it's a different level now. It's elite level, and you can't start slow when you've already got that uphill battle, as it were.
Yeah, absolutely. And to concede a corner after 30 seconds, 40 seconds, whatever, even that, that's particularly away from home. That does put you a little bit on the back foot. But we weathered that, didn't we? Which is usually we would concede. So yeah, if we'd have conceded, we could argue that, but we didn't. But then we grew into the game. So I just wonder if that's, the mindset, and not in a negative way, that, see the storm out, let's be compact to start with, and then we'll slowly, gradually grow into the game. And I guess that's what happened today. But you can't do it both halves. The penalty, well, he's got to give it because he's stood on his foot, but it wasn't the contact that sent him down. What sent him down was the dive afterwards, because he got back control of his foot, hadn't he, and then he dived. I'm not saying you can't give it, you can't overturn it. Well,
It was a penalty, though, wasn't it? It was a penalty. It's a
But,
clear
I mean,
penalty, and it's a good penalty by Chris Wood. To be fair, it's you're not going to save those because not many times keepers gamble by staying central. So it's he's hit it hard and true, and it's a good penalty. I'll give him a lot of credit. For that.
Yeah. It's interesting because they put the stat up, didn't they, on the telly that he's blasted most of them down the middle. So does Muric know that? Does he do his homework? I don't know.
You'd hope so, but it takes a brave goalkeeper, doesn't it, to stay central? It takes because a lot of times if you stay central and he puts it left or right, you're going to be. Should he have moved? What's he doing? That's why so many are down the middle, isn't it? Because goalkeepers always generally tend to move.
Yeah, but if you do your homework, you can counter. I mean, stand. Why not stand there? I mean, there's certain penalty takers. If Chris Wood takes penalties and the majority of them go down the middle, then you could fake yourself to maybe dive and maybe stand up. I mean, I'm not even sure he'd saved it if he'd have stood there. I mean, that probably took his arm off. But someone like Harry Kane who hits it in the corner, or Alan Shearer who used to put them in the corner, you have to gamble. But if there's a penalty taker that takes the majority of them down the middle,
play the percentages basically. Play the odds and stay central.
It's going to go one of three ways: down the middle, to the left, or to the right. So this is a 1 in 3 where you're going to go. So I don't know, but I suppose it's easy for me to say.
All right.
But I think the goalkeepers gambled their way. But I mean, he was diving around all over the place, wasn't he? And as for the commentary, say the ref had a good game. He did it. I mean, it wasn't a hard. Was it a hard game to ref? I don't know. But we got a booking. Kajusty got booked for a proper booking. Don't get me wrong. And then there were some other bookings as well. And then the foul on Amari, where Amari's cutting from the right early on. If that's not a free kick, if that's not a yellow card compared to all the others, then I don't know what is. So I'm not sure he had a great game. I think him being a bit card happy early on caused people to dive about a bit more. And they were trying to get Morsey sent off, weren't they? I mean, that was horrendous. I mean, all that time trying to get Morsey sent off. But hey.
All right. I thought the referee was a standard referee today. I didn't think he was overly good. Didn't think he was overly bad. I just thought he was, some decisions were right and some decisions were head scratchers. But I wouldn't put today's defeat down to the referees, as I'm sure you're probably not. Before I let you go, bring in Mr. Parry. And don't forget, everyone at home, there's a link in the chat if you want to come on and have your say. If you've heard something you disagree with, something you agree with, or something you just feel we should be talking about, please jump on and have your say this evening. But Lee, before I let you go, and I appreciate your time this on a Saturday night, one last thing from you. What's the last piece of opinion you've got on today's game?
Well, I'd just like to mention Muric again. We've talked about him for the penalty. What a save! What a double save!
Gee, yes.
Yeah. I mean, that was in all the way. That was all the way in, and he saved that. He still gives me kittens a little bit when the ball's bounced. There was one particular ball where the ball was bouncing back to him a little bit. I think it was first half, but wouldn't have been a fairy tale if he'd have come up and got something on the ball at the end or done something like that. But I thought I think he's turned the corner, and you can see why he's on number one. That was a fantastic. I mean, to fall on the floor and then to knock the ball away, because the way Burgess was running, he could have easily just stumbled that into his own goal. The fact that Muric has then got that second touch onto it has allowed Burgess not to have, being 2 yards from the goal line, walking towards the goal. That would have been very difficult. I don't know how you defend that. So that was a vital touch. So, that was my final thought.
I thought it was actually absolutely phenomenal save by Muric. The first one's a good save. The second, the agility to do that, to be able to reach out that arm when you're coming back, you're coming down. So gravity's pulling you down. Your momentum's coming down, but you adjust your body to do the save he had. It struck me very much similar to David Seaman's save against Sheffield United, where he's had to reach back and make that. And obviously, Seaman didn't make the first save like Muric has, so it's even better save for me than that one. And that was a great save. But it's just the palm back. The first save was a good save, but it's the agility, it's the flexibility of what he's managed to do. It's kept us in the game at that point. Because it's a long way back at 2-0. It's a long way back at 1-0, as it proved. But great save. And I thought he was really good today, Muric. Before I let you go, I thought he claimed everything. He was good with the ball at his feet. He held, he held everything he had to hold. Nothing sort of squirmed away from him. I thought it was good. I thought that was, the goalkeeper. We all thought the money was going to be spent on. Someone who could command the box, but play with his feet, good shot stopper, and all of that jazz. But Leah, appreciate you coming on the show, Stephen. I really do. You look after yourself. Take care. Enjoy your Saturday night if you can after a town defeat. Mike D, I thought Kayusa was really good today. Who are you boys saying was our best player? I'll start that comment, Mike D, and I'll ask Stephen parry that in a second. Moby could easily have taken someone from the game. Performance not as bad as someone making out. Forest were pretty much full strength. Hamish, the 6 injuries Town have is resulting in a weak bench. Phillips, Hurst, and Ogbene coming on at 65 minutes today would have made a difference. I do agree with that. AD says all the WWE in the box on set pieces has to stop. I agree with you there, AD. I do. It's a bit like it's a bit like a theatre production, a pantomime, isn't it? All this all this stuff in the box, pushing, shoving, ref comes over. As a fan, as a spectator, you absolutely hate it. It's like it just slows the game down, and then nothing ever comes of it either. And if it does, it's normally always in the favour of the defending team, isn't it? Where if the referee does then pull up something from the resulting corner, it normally always ends up going against the attacking side. I don't know if that's right in terms of if it's just something that happens or not, but I'd love to know your thoughts and feelings to see them. Don't forget, we are partnered with the East Anglian Air Ambulance. They are a life-saving charity, and you can support the East Anglian Air Ambulance by one of two ways. Of course, you've got Match Bingo. Play Match Bingo, win cash prizes. £2 bingo card. Download the app wherever you normally download your applications, be that Google, Android. I never know what the equivalent of the App Store is. Will someone let me know in the comments? What is the equivalent of the App Store? The Apple App Store on Google or Android. Maybe Google Android, the same thing. I don't know. But anyway, you can download your app. Over 18s only, be gamble aware. And of course, you've got the East Anglian Air Ambulance Lottery. The best way to play is online with the East Anglian Air Ambulance Lottery. Sign up now for just £1 per ticket for a chance to win one of 18 weekly prizes, ranging from £50 to £1,000. Players to be 18 or over, be gamble aware. Now, I'm really looking forward to seeing what the equivalent of the Apple Store is. The Play Store, says Amos. There you go. You ask and you shall receive. Right, Stephen, I've got a question for you from Mike D. And it isn't about the App Store, don't worry. Who are you boys saying was our best player today? You go first, and I'll give you mine in a second.
I would probably have to say Muric, because we would definitely lost that game if it wasn't for him. Yeah. So I would probably have to go with Muric as probably the best player.
Yeah. I thought Axel played really well, even on a yellow card from an early, which I didn't think was a yellow card. I mean, I looked at that challenge live, Steve. I don't know how you saw it. I thought the players back around us. I didn't think it was a tactical foul. I thought it was a foul in the early stages of a game that went for the ball. I wouldn't have booked him, but I'm not a referee on the podcast.
I think it was definitely a tactical foul. There was a break, and it was from our corner, and he was getting away. And yes, early stages in the game, sometimes referees let them go, but it's a coin flip, isn't it? Does he see? Is it a tactical foul? Yes, it is. Does he want to give a card so early? Well, obviously he did, but it was definitely a foul. It was definitely a tactical foul, and realistically, they are yellow cards, so you just have to suck it up. Was the referee poor? Not really. At the end of the day, the game was decided by one mistake, and it was a mistake of a player going for a ball that wasn't his to go for. He was outside the box. The other player was inside the box, and he reaches in. You're not going to be able to control anything when you're reaching in to get a player who's already got past you. He's better not doing anything. If they score, fair dues. But he still had work to do. You know what I mean? All you've done is you've made sure instead of having players around him and a goalkeeper to beat, you've made it a one-on-one with the keeper from 12 yards or whatever. The top and bottom of it is that's what you don't do. Yeah, you're opening yourself up. And I thought, to be honest, we played well. I'm not, like I said, I'm not disappointed we lost. It's a shame. I don't like to lose any game. But the top and bottom of it is, I've always said, and I said this on the pod when we were in League One, as long as we play well, I can take losing. Yeah. And we played well. Did we win? No. Did we do enough to win? Probably. Or at least get a point. We did enough to get something. I think losing was harsh because of the way it happened. I don't think they did enough to win. We didn't do enough to win. A draw would have been a fair result because that was Forest's best side. You can argue, Jota and Elanga. That's it. But barring that, they had all their stars in there. Anderson, Hudson-Odoi, Gibbs-White. You know, that is some heavy power, yeah? And to say they're not a good side, they're beating Liverpool at Anfield. Not many teams have done that this season. In fact, there's only one team that's done that this season, and that's Notts Forest. So they've got something about them, yeah? They're not a side that's just going to turn up and roll over and tickle you, let you win. You're going to have to work hard for it. You're going to have to fight for it. And they had to work hard and fight for it. And in the end, it was a little bit of naivety from Smodic and a bit of luck, yeah, that they got the result. If they didn't get that, they wouldn't. I don't think they'd have got anything. I think it would have been a draw. It was really a good performance, and I'm pleased with the way we ended it. I'm pleased with, I'm pleased with the way we performed. I'm not pleased with the result, obviously. I'm pleased with the way we performed. And if we carry on playing like that, yeah, we will get more points, yeah, than we will throw away. We just have to cut out the silly errors. I want McKenna going to Sammy Smodic to say, look, the end of the day, all the players, the end of the day, that is not your ball to win. Leave it. Yeah. If he scores, he scores. But don't give him that chance of having a one-on-one.
See, Sam here says the thing that annoyed me was the first half was a good performance, and then after half time, complete opposite. Now, yeah, you've got to give credit to the opposition. You know, they are paid professionals, they are paid to win the game themselves, and they have their own tactical tweaks and changes that they make. And that's what I think happened today, because I think Sam's right here. First half, we were good. Second half, I felt for me, we looked lethargic, we looked passive. There was no real threat. Did you ever sit on the edge of your seat in the second half, Steve, and think, Town are knocking on the door here? They're really starting to come to life and make chance after chance. Because I'll be honest, Steve, I didn't. My backside was firmly on all four cushions.
You have to look at it. At the end of the day, like I said, they're not just going to sit there and let you tickle the belly and roll over. You have to work for it. At the end of they've probably got, in my opinion, one of the two best central defensive partners, yeah, in the league at this moment in time. Yeah, and that's including teams like Arsenal, including teams like Liverpool, including teams like Man City. Their central defensive partnership is working overtime. Will that continue to last? I do not know. But if their defensive partnership is working well, it makes it less hard. It makes it, like I said, if Liverpool found it hard to get through them, yeah, I think they would find it hard to get through them. Yeah, given the talent they've got on show. And we can't take away with the fact that they've had a very good start. They're doing well. Yeah, they've had a bit of a rocky spell, but losing to Arsenal at Arsenal is not exactly a shock for anyone in this.
No, as we'll find out in 3 weeks' time.
Exactly.
It's coming, don't worry. Lee said we offered nothing in the second half. Lots of conversation in the chat about Axel, a lot of concern in the chat about Axel. Concern, obviously, Tuesday nights, going to be here very quickly. He's a big player, has been proven. We've missed him. What are your thoughts on Axel, Steve?
Well, yeah, he's a big player and we've missed him. But at the end of the day, I think he was brought off as a precaution. Mm-hmm. Okay. I don't think he was, because he was on his feet. He wasn't carried off or anything like that. He went off in his own steam. Yeah. And they brought Harry Kellett because they probably thought, I tell you what, he's had a bit of a knock. We're not going to keep him on there and flog him to death. I was really surprised Delap stayed on for the all 90. To be honest, I think the game had gone. We might as well have just took him off and brought somebody else on, and kept a bit of energy for Tuesday. We have to realise that we're in the Premier League and there are better teams than us. We can't sit here and start being, we should be taking. I go into every game thinking like, look, I take a draw, especially away. I'll take a draw. If we can get something else, bonus. But if we lose, we lose. You have to hold your hands up and say sometimes the best team win. Today, I don't think the best team won. I think it was a draw. They just got a bit of luck where we didn't.
Let's throw the spotlight on a couple of players. Then I'll throw some players at you, and I want the chat to give me their thoughts, and I want you, Steve, obviously, I got someone on the show to give me theirs. And if you want to come on the show and have your say on any player, any opinion you've got on the game, please hit that link. We're closing soon, so if you want to get on the show, now is the opportunity, or final opportunity. I'll start with Connor Chapman. Steve, Connor Chapman, give me your thoughts on him today. Obviously, back into the lineup.
He worked it first half. I think he faded. I don't think second half he offered a lot, But he was definitely he worked first half, and I think that was probably it was set up for him and Amari to work space on the right hand side, and that worked first half. obviously Forest made a change at half time and it didn't work second half. So he did all right, but it was an half for me. It was a halfway, it was one half performance from him, because what we should have done is what we did do. We took him off and brought Burns on and put Amari in the centre. I don't think it made much difference, but at the end of the day, McKenna said beforehand he wanted Amari on the right because he didn't think he'd get much space in the centre, and he didn't get much space in the centre. So it was like I said, without a Benny or someone like that, you're a little bit limited, because I don't think Burns did much when he came on. He was closed down, and any crosses he come in were just hitting the defender. I don't think Harry Clark did well when he came on. I don't think that helped us at all. I know he came on because Axel went off and he was probably looking after him, but Harry Clark, I think sometimes he was lost. When the ball came to him, he didn't know what to do with it, and he was holding on to it too long, and his passes went astray. Some of his crossing were woeful. It was a beautiful position to put a good cross in, and it just went to a Nottingham Forest player. I'm thinking, you can't do that.
No, you've got to be better when you had that opportunity present itself. Maybe says Chapper's good in patches.
Especially when you're in the game. You've got to try and do something with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Sid Cup, we need to start creating more. Just don't create enough, but put pressure on us. Hamish, Chapman fine first half. Second half, couldn't get to the game. Same as Amari. George, Chappers, a couple of lucky ricochet, which ended up with him on the break. I mean, he took it off, obviously, Delap's took it off his foot, didn't he, in the first half? That was a huge opportunity. Huge opportunity. And obviously, just somebody needs to give someone a shout there, you feel. It was a good chance.
That was Chaplin's to make the shout. And obviously, he didn't make the shout.
No, and if he did, then that needs to listen. Yeah.
Let's be fair. I would assume he didn't, because
I assume he didn't as well. I agree.
Let's be fair. Delap is the striker. You see a ball in front of you that's near the goal, you're going to go for the ball, unless you're told otherwise. You're going for the ball because you're the striker. Yeah. So I don't blame Delap going for that ball, because we all know he could have got that ball, just took a touch, hit it in the net, and hit it in the net, and everyone would be going, "Way!" But it didn't happen. And everybody's saying, "Oh, well, he should have left it." But if he didn't, it doesn't call for the ball, which I assume he didn't, because he went for it. He could easily have jumped over the ball. And then you go to the fact of, well, would Chaplin have got it, or would the defender have closed him down? We will never know.
We will never know. Yeah, the same way we'll never know if we're missing Raheem the Dream, as Kev Shower says in the chat. He said we are definitely missing Raheem the Dream.
No, we're not.
Thanks ever so much, Kev, for reminding me of that one. Hamish, January requires 4 new signings to beef up this injury-ravaged squad. 2 new strikers, a right attacker, a centre midfielder, a must. We can create space by moving Ali and +2 and deregistering Ali and 2 others and deregistering Og Bene. All right, one more player before I let you go, Steve. Nathan Broadhead.
I just want to say something like that. I don't think we need 2 strikers. At the end of the day, Hurst is only out until New Year. Yeah. So we won't be able to buy anybody until January anyway. Yeah, so it'll probably be near enough back, or at least back on training by the time we're able to buy anyone. Yeah, if we buy another one, it's going to have to be at least a recognised name. Yeah, so if we're going for 2, who are you going to get as who's good enough, to play third or fourth fiddle? You know what I mean?
Is that Mark Ashton letting you know we're going to bring 2 players in, Steve?
It's my missus. You're not going to get anyone, playing third or fourth fiddle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
fair enough.
I would say at least 1 striker, a right winger, and maybe 1 other.
All right. You got 30 seconds. Tell me about Nathan Broadhead. Back today, obviously. First few minutes in the Premier League. What were your thoughts on him? 30 seconds. Go.
Well, Brody did well. I thought he did what everybody thought he would do. I just want to give a bit of mention to Clark as well, because I think he needs more time. Yeah. Everyone's saying he's not hit the ground running. He's hardly played. He gets 10 minutes at the end if he's lucky. He's missed the odd shot. But if you're playing 90 minutes and miss the odd shot, more often than not, one's going to go in. If you're playing 10 minutes and miss the odd shot, then you can't highlight it. He's had 10 minutes. Some people don't even get a chance in 10 minutes. You know what I mean? Delap has had 90 minutes and he hardly had a chance. Clark's been on for 10 minutes and got a chance. He missed it, but if he'd have been on for 90...
All right, Steve, I've got to close the show anyway. You're wanted by your lady, and I'm going to go. So, Steve, appreciate your comments. I do agree. with a lot of them. Appreciate you coming on this show. I've never had a show interrupted by a phone call once, but twice. And as Mike D says, perhaps it's Alex Gilead on the phone looking for a move, Steve. Which it could well be. For those that have been with us since the start, you'll know what that means. Anyway, we're done for the match reaction. Thank you for joining us in the live chat. Love to see your comments. Join us again tomorrow, 1 p.m. for more reaction. And of course, as we turn the page and look ahead to Crystal Palace, so we'll look at this game and we'll look ahead to Tuesday night's game. But until then, enjoy your Saturday night if you can after a town defeat. But yeah, enjoy it, relax, and we'll see you tomorrow at 1 p.m. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.
You make me smile when I think of you. If I get down or when I get blue, I can't get enough. You make me happy, I feel so fine. Oh, how I wish that you were mine. I can't get enough. I woke up all soaked in sweat, with chills running down my neck. I'm going crazy from just the thought of you.